So the project me and my team came up with called Octagon, it's a pretty ambitious project. I've been a live act for many years, and then I've got, after the stop of the pandemic, I've got into DJing. First of all, because the world stopped and I was looking for something different from what I've done before, but also because it wasn't easy traveling as a live act every single weekend. So I just went to the normal, easy life of a DJ, traveling around with USB sticks. And it's been that for 4 years. Great, amazing, I love it. But at the same time, I've been missing all those emotions and great vibes I get from when I bring my keyboards on stage and play live. And that's when, we came up with the idea of, okay, let's bring the live act back, but it has to be bigger, way bigger. Through the pandemic, I've been streaming, actually making videos from my studio where I have all my hardware, all my keyboards. So I'm basically just been playing my keyboards in the studio and making melodies and, just put it out as a reel on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever. And people seem to love that. I mean, few videos went crazy viral, and that means, people really was interested in to see me play something, an instrument basically. So we thought, why don't we bring those keyboards on stage? And whilst it's kind of a logistically impossible to bring all my keyboards on stage, we figure out a new setup that includes 8 keyboards. And those 8 keyboards have a shape of an octagon. And then we play around with my name, Ottaviani, Octagon, put them together, Octagon. So that's basically the idea behind the new live show. And it's pretty ambitious because, we custom built all the new setup. It's quite crazy to ship this thing around the world. It's, there is a lot of moving parts, there is a lot of preparation, but above all, I just didn't want to go on stage and play something which I've, like music that I've done before. My main ambition was to create something new specifically for this show. So I have created 12 tracks to be performed in 1 hour live show. And then eventually those 12 tracks became an album. And now it's called Octagon 8. The first track that I've been working on it, I've got inspired by, I use a splice a lot, like many other producers. I was just looking for some, easy voice sample that could tell a story and how ambitious was this project. And then I suddenly bumped into this one. Let me play this for you.
We say things like follow your heart, believe in yourself. Because good things don't come to those that wait. But ambitions, they see light by those who do.
So, this was the kind of a motivation sample I decided to use, because indeed, if you wait for things to happen to you, that will never happen. You need to figure out a way to make them happen. And even if it's not that easy, just go for it. And then, at the end of the day, something cool will happen. And that's when, this is how I felt when I delivered the first Octagon show in Los Angeles in November. So this is the first track. This is the intro track, and basically because it's a live show where I have all my tracks already in sequence. All the background music is playing already from my computer. What I'm actually doing is playing the melodies from my keyboard. So the melodies come out live from my keyboards, the main melodies, whilst the all the other sounds are basically just running in the background, already mixed. So I'm not mixing anything. I'm just taking care of, try to remember what I have to play at the right time. And of course, if you look at the setup, there is also a video where I explain how it works. You see how all the tricks that I use to remember what to play, when to play, and how to play. So remember that all the melodies I've been working on for these tracks are very simple melody, just for the reason that, you know, whatever you play live on your keyboard when you are in studio, it's super easy. It looks easy, but when you are in front of 10,000 people with the, you know, loud volume, the pressure of everybody watching you, pressure of the cameras and everything, you know, even the simple melody becomes complicated. Trust me. And so I went for the very simple melodies, and this is an example of the very first line that I'm playing at the Octagon show.
We say things like follow your heart, ambitions. They see light by those who do. Believe in yourself.
So yeah, this is how the show starts. Follow your heart, believe in yourself. That's really all you need to make your basically dreams come true. Talking a little bit more technical, I didn't use, if you saw my studio, I have a lot of hardware, a lot of keyboards. I haven't used a single keyboard because, of course, everything has to stay in the box. And I focus my projects mainly on Diva and Serum. And all those leads, melodies that I play on my keyboards are taken from Serum only. Why? Because it's a great plugin. It's not heavy on the CPU of my computer, and it's super stable and very easy to control, to program change, you know, jumping from one sound to the other one. So the lead in this case, it is Serum, and it sounds like this. The only control I have on my keyboards is the modulation wheel. So all the filters that I'm using in all my songs for the Octagon project are being modulated by the mod wheels. That's basically it. It's a very simple lead, as I said before, simple melody. I love to use preset packs, and of course one of my favorite guy is Seven Skies. We are good friends, and you know, we discuss a lot of sounds and presets, but he's amazing. He's amazing. So whenever he releases a new preset, it's going straight into my computer, and I can basically make an album out of his sounds. I like to tweak the sounds a little bit, of course, but to make my life easy on the live show, I try to tweak the sound only on Serum. So I'm not using any external plugin, because then it's hard to replicate when you play live. So I just want to use the sound that I'm using in the actual song, the same sound that I'm actually playing live. This is why, as you see my channel here, there's only a sidechain going on, because I have a sidechain going on for every single sound. And that's the only extra plugin I use. Otherwise, everything comes from Serum, from the FX, and whatever I've done, which of course I don't remember compared to the original sound, but I don't really do much. I don't like to change it too much. So yeah, it comes out straight from Serum. Then of course, you know, if you ask me what I'm using for all the rest, it is again Serum and Diva. I'm a big fan of Diva, especially for this kind of sort of a, you know, old school analog sounds. I mean, Diva does amazing replica of the analog gear, analog synths. And that's what I really like about this plugin. It's pretty heavy, but the sound quality is incredible. So it sounds like this. Right? For the drums, I normally use battery, just because it's really simple for me to, and when I say drums, I mean it's the kick drum. It's very simple for me to go from one sample to the next one, or blend two samples together to make a more unique kick drum. Like this one has got, you know, the top hand from one sample and the low end for another one, and they play together. Yep, right here. And I tend to use a lot of the built-in compressor of battery, this one, because I love the punch it gives to the sounds. And then of course I add the usual plugins. For example, I always try to cut the very low end, which sometimes are useless. I use this one, which kind of warms up the sound a little bit. It's called the Fab Filter Fatter. It makes everything fat, they say, but yeah, it really gives a warm touch to the sound. And the Sonaxis for the filter. Nothing really fancy. I mean, I try to keep these productions very simple as possible, even because I was in rush. I had to deliver 12 tracks in 5 months, because from when I started the idea of bringing this new live project on stage, I was thinking of launching the new project in 2025, but no. My management they went for a November show, so that left me with 5 months only to make 12 brand new tracks. So I was trying to be quick. The bass, again, it comes from Diva. I love to use preset. As I said before, I don't do much on the actual preset. I do a lot of work though on the processing of the channel. I always like to play with kind of a question and answer when it comes to sound. So in this case, you have 2 types of basses. Yeah, the main bass and the sort of a answer bass. They work very well together. And then I was looking for, of course, a big impact on the dance floor during the show, and I needed some sort of a stub going on, like this. Again, Serum. You know, most of my production, as I said before, it's going to be Diva and Serum, so there is not much else to show here, to be honest, but it is what it is. So this is also another instrument I play live. It's just a pad, which comes out from a different keyboard on my setup. And I usually, I like to play with both of my hands, so I like to play 2 instruments at the same time. That's why also I have this setup with a lot of keyboards.